Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant on National Champions, a sports movie about the money in sports, more about than the sports itself. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. And we're on Bitchute and Rumble. So make sure you check out our Hollywoke hot take and a news blast. So the premise of this movie is this is a college quarterback. He's like super good. He's going to play in this championship. And he goes on TV during an interview. He's a first draft pick. He's like going to be offered $35 million. And he's basically protesting against the system of football. And J.K. Simmons plays his coach, who's poised to finally win the national championship when this kid decides to do a protest. He's complaining that other players don't get enough money, which is an odd complaint, and that everybody else is making more money than the players, and it's basically the workers against the evil capitalist pigs who have all the money and the contracts, and they don't like it, and they're going to fight it. And J.K. Simmons is like, no, he's a good kid, but we got to work this out somehow. And it's basically about the numbers that college football does on television and everything. But here's the problem. Yes, college football makes a ton of money, and maybe the players should get a little bit of it, but they already kind of do, right? I mean, like, none of these guys pay for their college. No way. And from what I've heard behind the scenes is these guys get all kinds of crazy perks. It all trickles down to them. Right? They get a car, they get a great place to live, they start living the high life almost immediately. Because they are, they're in the pipeline. Now they can't legally pay them, but they do get paid and they have a great time. Now do some of the guys get screwed? Oh, I have no doubt. But look, it's the reality is this. I did open mic nights, right? Stand-up comics. Stand-up comics do open nights all the time. And some guys are good and sometimes go on to be famous comedians. But most of them don't. Some guys go on to be nobody. And some guys never do it again. They do it one time and that's it. Should all those guys get paid something because they were stand-up comics, and just because they didn't make it, they should get paid? It's unfair that Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and Kevin Hart get millions of dollars. Why these other stand-up comics get nothing? No, that's competition. All right? Some of those guys, they do other things. Some of them make money. Some of them don't make as much. Is it fair? No, but it's not about being fair. You can't make it fair. You couldn't possibly make it fair, and you couldn't possibly make this fair in real life. So, but the question in terms of a movie, is it good drama? Yeah, but I don't know if Hollywood will treat it as the sort of drama it should be. Because at the end of the day, this is tilting at windmills. He couldn't make this work. Let's say that all the big companies got together and said, okay, we'll do exactly what you want. We'll give everybody money. That would increase their cost in getting football players to the NFL. Right? It's not free. Right? They would be losing money at that point. Yeah, they made all this money going into it. Now they don't make as much money. Well, the money's got to get cut back somewhere. Well, now that we're paying you, we're not giving you the perks. Pay for your own perks. Now manage your own damn money. Oh, by the way, pay lots of taxes too. Oh, and we're paying some guys who they're a total loss for us and they're written off. Maybe those guys now are in big trouble because they spent 4 years at a college where they were going to be a superstar, and then they get injured, and then they go back into the workforce. Well, now they're injured, and now they can't pay the taxes on all that fabulous money they got. They didn't save it. They lived a high life. You still got problems. JK, in the trailer, it's like JK gets $5 million, or the coach's name, whatever it is. He's probably a good coach. That's why he gets $5 million. This guy's being offered $35 million. He can spread out the money however he likes. It's his money. But, It's just not going to work in real life. But will it be a good drama? Yeah, kind of. Depending on how it's handled. I think the way it's going to be handled is the way Hollywood will handle it, which is this is an excuse to say evil white men control the NFL and control money and the evil patriarchy. If only communism was allowed to flourish, then everybody would be equal and it would be great and we'd still have all this. No, you wouldn't have any of this. It's just not the way it works. So it's a fantasy is what it is. Will it be a good fantasy? I don't know. I'm not much of a sports guy, as you all know. I'm sure some people will watch this and go, wait a minute, that's not quite the way it is. On top of the fact that this is kind of a woke take on football, kind of like a woke communist take. You know, the revolution in football, and you've got so many football fans alienated thanks to Black Lives Matter. I know so many fans that they're just done. They're done with football. Now you're going to put out this movie? This is the movie they would go see if you hadn't kicked them out of football to begin with. So who's this really aimed at? I don't know. Football fans, I don't think will like it unless it ends with, Timothy Oliphant's in it too? With Timothy Oliphant. So he makes it. David Kochner, he's a guy from Anchorman doing something serious. J.K. Simmons. So yeah, I don't know who this is aimed at. Is this aimed at a lot of angry people who got screwed on money in football? All the players who didn't make it? I mean, I'm not sure the audience is there. I'm not sure the football fans want it. Maybe people who are communists, who don't watch football, who have this fantasy. But I think it's going to end poorly. I mean, for them, it's going to be the first act. You've got this guy, he's on his way. He's going to make $35 million. He's going to be drafted, first draft pick in the NFL. And J.K. Rowling's is going to win the national championship. And then he decides to protest. And the protest disrupts everything. And the players start joining him. Oh, we want money. We all want money because it's not fair. It's not fair to the other players who get injured. And you're making all this money and we don't get any. And that's not fair. And they go, well, we're endangering all our money here. What are we going to do? Well, evil white men will have to do something to pressure him and pressure these guys, or we'll bribe them. And I think the third act is they eventually bribe enough people that the whole thing collapses, and then, they win. In the end, capitalism wins, but it's a dark day. That's my take. That's my take for woke Hollywood on this. Instead of like a bunch of guys who are in college who are being offered millions of dollars being super excited about it, which is what normally would happen, I think. Yeah, they wouldn't all make it. It's hard to make it in the NFL. They only take the best of the best. But, they're guys who they get in the NFL, they don't make that much money. Right? They get in for a year and then they wash out. Because you're only the best of the best. That's competition. You can't have everybody. It's just the way it is. If you want a really good NFL, if you want everybody to be equal, okay, except everybody who plays football then. And then you'll have crappy players in the mix. You'll have more people getting injured, less money because they have to spread the money out against more people. A rising cost. I mean, if you want to make communist football, I guess it's possible. This movie envisions it so, though. I don't know. I don't know that much about the money behind it. I mean, I do think there's too much money in college football. It should be amateur. There shouldn't be this much money in it. There already is. So maybe you should have a separate entity. Maybe you should take the money out of it. But the college don't want to let it go because it's money for them. The people involved in it make too much money. The TV people aren't going to make money. And the players do make money in their own way. They're not legally allowed to pay them, but they make money. Yeah, they get free cars, free places to live, all the food and booze and girls they can handle. Yeah, they're doing okay. So, National Champions comes out soon. It looks like a decent movie. Interesting cast. I just don't know if the script will really make it, really sell and I question the value of doing this movie, judging by who the audience potentially could be. I think you've alienated too many people, so I don't think the movie will do very good. But that's my opinion. All right, check us out on Bitchute and Rumble. See you in the next one.